Yo, what is up? Welcome to NinjaGeek Games. In this video, we're doing a playthrough of Heroes of the Shire, Light and Shadow that comes to Gamefound on the 3rd of March. Now, if you want to know more about the game, I have done a Gamefound preview video, and I'll put a link to that on the screen now. But in this video, we're going to play through part of a scenario. But why part of a scenario, you ask? Well, as the game's campaign-based and made up of multiple scenarios, I don't have the functionality to complete a full one on this video. Plus, as this is just a prototype, I've only been given a subset of the rules, so I don't have the full game here. So what I'm going to do in this video is carry out some exploration, some minion battles, and then try and take on a boss. So briefly, this is the map we'll be exploring. Normally there are 3 mini bosses and 1 main boss, but in this scenario, I'm just going to take on the 1 mini boss. I've just put this one here for aesthetic purposes. This is the battle map, and each one of these double pages relates to one of the hexes where the combat's taking place, and over here is the player boards for my spells and my character. There are quite a few cards and tokens that are off screen because I just can't fit them into the shot. But the tokens are for conditions, buffs and enemies, and the cards include exploration, action cards and loot amongst others. As I've said, this is just a prototype, so any rules and components are subject to change. Now, one scenario in Heroes of the Shire is split into 2 or 3 different phases. First up, you have exploration, where you're moving around the map and exploring the tiles and carrying out some exploration cards. If I meet any enemies on my way, such as trash mobs or the bosses, this will take me to the battle map. Here, a number of rounds are carried out where we have to take on one of the minions or the badass bosses. Now we're ready to play. I've selected the Beastmaster as my character, and they have pets or familiars that they can take into battle, which is a rhino, and I have an ally because this is solo play, which is the Dragon Knight. It doesn't matter how many players or characters are in your party, because when you're exploring, you do this as a group, and you all make decisions together on what to do, where to go, and how to tackle encounters. So for the exploration phase, my party can move 1 space onto an unexplored tile, reveal it, and then we'll draw an exploration card to see what happens. Now, during a main scenario, you will have a particular quest that you need to carry out, and for mine is defeating a number of particular enemies in combat. But for the playthrough tutorial that I was given, you have to take on a boss and just make it to the exit. So when you explore, you move 1 tile. Let's have a look what we get. I mean, they're all the same, but it's the encounter card that makes the difference. So I'll move on to there, draw an exploration card. So here, nothing really happens. We've got the mini boss, which is this prismatic lion, and they're just going to roam around the land. To do this, I will then roll the monster die, and you might not be able to see, but there are some symbols and numbers here. So that was a 4. And if you need help in remembering what the direction is, you can turn over your starting tile. So 4 is southwest. So they'll pop down here. And when they move, they drop these tokens that you can interact with later in the game. So it's back over to me. So I've got one of 3 hexes that I can move to. Don't really want to go here because the boss is too close and I don't think I'm strong enough to try and take them on yet. You know, I will go to 3, hoping that the boss moves elsewhere, and then I can move on up if I'm lucky. Yeah, so I'll move to hex number 3. Move my party there and draw another exploration card. So this says that I take an action card from the deck and resolve it. Now, these action cards, they tell you what you found and then give you some options on what you want to do. So in solo play, I can choose one of these, but if you were playing multiplayer, all of the team would discuss what they want to do and why, with the party leader deciding on which option to choose. A sprawling garden of glowing flora lies ahead, with its vibrant hues bathing the surroundings in luminous light. The air is thick with the scent of life and magic. What's our next move? So we can harvest the glowing herbs, hoping to harness their magical properties, or meditate among the flowers, embracing the tranquility of the garden. So I'm assuming harvesting herbs will let me gain some herbs from the loot, and I'm assuming they will provide health or similar later on in the game. So I'm going to meditate, and now I can reveal what that option gives me. The serenity of the garden fills you with renewed clarity. Your mind sharpens, your senses heighten, all allies level up. Well, that's pretty good. Right, so now we go over to my player board. I'm on level 1, so with the result of the encounter card, I now go to level 2. Firstly, I get to choose a spell from my spell mastery board, which is like a tree of additional spells that I can use in combat. Now, you can't pick any of these, you have to go in a particular order. Because I've started with the healing path, I can then follow this track. If I wanted to go to my mount specialist or my animal tamer, I would have to pick the top spells and then work my way down. So this lets me take control of enemy pets. This lets me reduce the health if my beast form gets injured. And if I go down this track, actually at the end of combat, or end of a round in combat, I can gain regeneration for 3 turns if my rhinos are taken out. So yes, I'll take this cube and I'll mark it here just to say now I've gained knowledge for Beast's Blessing. But when you progress to an odd numbered level, you get a permanent buff to one of your stats, which are strength, intelligence, agility, defense and HP. Level 1 I automatically gained a +1 buff and I chose defense for that. So next time I level up I'll be able to choose another one of these. So that's a good start. The encounter card also shows 2 monster dice in the top right corner, which means the wandering monster here will roam twice as a result of my action card. So we roll again. 5 moves this direction. So you probably can't see the numbers on here. You'll have to trust me. There. And one more time. 3. So he goes south. Now the mini boss can drop multiple tokens onto the same tile, but I can't find anywhere in the rules if you carry out the encounter here twice or just once for those tokens. Also, if the beast would move off the board, I don't know if they don't move or you have to re-roll. I can't find that in the rules, but as I said, I've only been given a subset of the rules available. So I can move again. I think I'm going to go straight ahead because I get to look at this encounter as well as the one when exploring the tile. So I've explored and there was an encounter token on there, and we have this encounter card for the light scenario here. Now, as I said, I was given one light scenario, so this is what we're playing now, but there is another shadow scenario where you'll get different tiles, encounter cards and enemy bosses to take on. And it says here, as I've moved onto a hex with an encounter token on it, before flipping the hex over, you must roll the boss die X times, where X is the number of encounter tokens that are currently here. So that for me would just be 1. The value of each roll will trigger the following encounter. So I'll roll this and then carry out the actions on the card. That's a 4. And the encounter card says, for the cost of 8 gold, I can hire a heavy armoured ally to assist you on my journey. Once hired, select any heavy armoured ally card from my collection and add it to the player's ability tab. Now, I don't have any gold, so I can't carry that out, but also note there is no gold in this game. So I've picked a random loot card here, just to show you. So the loot cards come in 4 different types, from common, rare, epic for example, and the colour down here lets you know what they are, and their value is different based on whether you're buying them or selling them at a market. So if I had any loot cards in hand, which I don't, I could pull them together, calculate the cost based on the colour of the symbol here and look to buy and sell any goods. But as I'm poor, I can't do that. Okay. So I think now I do get an exploration card, even though I carried out one of those exploration tokens. And the exploration card says that I find some loot. So now I can actually get some loot from the deck. Had I drawn this in the round before, I may have been able to pay for the heavy armoured ally, although I don't think even an epic loot card would have been able to pay for that, or just one of them anyway. Okay, I have found some wild herbs. If used during combat, I gain 4 hit points. If used during the board reset, which is after combat, I gain 8 hit points. And that then goes into my backpack to be used later. Your backpack is over by your player area. Normally it goes underneath, but I just store them on top so I can see what they are all the time. And then I can continue on my journey. I might go to Hex 13. So remove the encounter token. Well, it says I've got to roll the dice before I turn that over. I'm not sure why. Okay. That's a 6. One player may draw 2 side quests, keep one and return the other to the deck. The player who accepts the quest should record the current hex number on their save sheet, which would be Hex 13. Completed side quests must be turned in at the same hex that they were accepted. So I need to find the deck of side quests. Okay, I've got 2 side quests here. One is I need to visit Hex 10 over above the prismatic lion, and when exploring I've got to sacrifice a ranged attack from my spell board, which means I can't use that spell until I'm defeated, so that will be useless in battle. The other one is to travel to the Celestial Observatory, which is on Hex 22, which is miles away, and perform a ritual. I've got to roll a 12 using 2 d6 dice. If I fall short, I can make up the difference by immobilizing my spells with a value of the gap. Okay, fine. So one of them is I lose a spell, and the other, a number of my spells become useless. I think I'm going to take the one that makes me go to Hex 10 and remove the ranged spell until I'm defeated. I think that one's the lesser of 2 evils. I'll just stick that over on my player board. Where was I? So now I can, oh yeah, explore 13. And draw an exploration card. Good. More loot. Wouldn't say no to that. And I have got a gladiator helm. It grants the equipped hero a permanent +1 strength buff. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, we can get armor sets as well. If I get more of the gladiator sets, I get additional bonuses. So that goes to my player board, or my equipment board, and that goes on the head area. So a +1 permanent buff to strength, that goes here. I can gain more later in the game. This area is for permanent buffs, which will stay with me for the whole scenario. And here are temporary buffs. So I can get some temporary buffs, and each round of combat they'll drop down. And as they go past this gold line here, they then get removed. And I'll have to earn them again. Right, where now? I think I'm gonna head south. Yeah, I'm going to go to Hex 8. There's no encounter token. Move my party down and draw an exploration card. Okay, summon 2 trash mobs to battle. So trash mobs are minions, which will carry out the combat on the combat map here. I'm on Hex, I think that was 8, wasn't it? Yep. So I'll have to turn to page 8 in the book, select a couple of trash mobs and carry out battle. Right, let's do this. Right, we're now going to enter the battle phase, which is carried out on this map. We've got Hex 8 because that's where my party drew the encounter, and we now need to set up before the battle begins. So the first thing we need to do for combat setup is adjust the monster card passive deck. I'm only going to show you how to do this. I'm not going to use these in this game because they aren't included in the rule set. So I've had to kind of figure it out for myself with the rules that I have and talking to the designer of the game. But this passive monster card deck is pretty standard for this scenario and contained a number of cards to buff the monster or bosses during combat, not when you're taking out the trash mobs. And what you'll do is you'll roll this dice and then you'll add particular cards to this deck, so it will alter over the course of the game. So I roll the dice. It shows a defensive symbol. Now the other two decks are aggressive and defensive monster cards, and whichever symbol is shown, I'll add that card to the deck. As I said, I'm not going to be using that in this game, but I just wanted to show you how it's carried out. And I will do that for every combat, just to show you how it plays. Next, we draw two trash mobs, and I've drawn a light spirit and a bright jellyfish, and their tracker tokens on the agility board has been placed, and this dictates turn order during combat. So we have a bright jellyfish with a HP of 18 and a couple of spells, and a light spirit that also has HP of 18, and they have a couple of spells, one of which is regeneration. So next we deploy our heroes in the green numbered areas. And again, from the rule set that I have, it looks that this placement is based on the order of agility or turn order. So the ally will actually get placed in position 1. And this actually isn't the standee for the Dragon Knight, it's just I don't have it, so I used this one to represent them. And the Beastmaster will get placed on position 2. I don't actually know if you can choose where you go or you just place them in turn order. Similar for the trash mob, the bright jellyfish is highest in the agility, so I'm going to place that on position 1, followed by the light spirit. We have a round tracking die at the top of the map, and this will show you how many rounds have been carried out in the game. And this is important because at each round there'll be certain loot drops or events that will be happening on the map. And I don't know if you can see here, but this is pretty cool because it has an eyeball in it that moves. It's pretty gross. I love it. And from the resources noted at the top, nothing is placed during round 1. So for my character setup, they come into battle with a rhino already in play, and we can get more. And the more rhinos we have, the more powerful some of my spells can become. And we also have these trash modification cards, which are used to make the game harder or easier for solo play or multiplayer. As I'm playing solo, I'll draw a random card, and this will change the stats of the trash mobs that we're playing against. And it says here, all stats are permanently reduced by 1, except for HP, which is reduced by 3, which is good. So I can reduce their hit points by 3. So they now both have health of 15. And all of their stats are reduced by 1 as well. Okay, I think that's everything for setup, but note that there's quite a lot to unpack for combat. So for round 1, the first thing we do is look at the turn order, and we can see that the bright jellyfish has the highest agility, so they'll go first. So the first step is token upkeep, where we look at their player card to see if any conditions would move down. They don't. Likewise, we check for any spells that were cast. Do they have cooldown dice on? And then we've reduced those numbers by 1. So the next step is to draw an enemy movement card, and this will show how that particular enemy will act during this phase. On the left hand side of the circle will be any actions or abilities that the monster can carry out before they cast the spell. Then you have casting a spell, and then you have any after effects. And as we play through the game, I'll explain how the damage multipliers in these different hexes come into play. There is nothing to the left of the spell, so the bright jellyfish isn't going to move or carry out any further actions. But the key down here says trash mobs. At the start of their turn, trash mobs pull the nearest enemy 1 hex closer towards them. So that will be the Beastmaster, and they go to there. The reason this is bad is because if my characters end up in these grey hexes, these are cliff faces, and they'll fall down and get bleed or lacerations, which will reduce my health over time. So next is a spell. The bright jellyfish has 2 spells. They've got Tentacle Sting and Volt Discharge. One of them will target one character, the other one targets all characters. And they'll generally cast the spell that has the highest cooldown value. So spells also tell us if they're ranged or melee, but the Volt Discharge doesn't actually have an attack symbol on it. So I'm going to assume that one is melee. So they will target all characters and immobilize them for 2 turns. Oh no, that is paralyze, which means that the players can't activate any attack spells. Now I have 2 different types of spells. I've got support and attack, so I could do support, but it just means for 2 rounds I'm not going to be able to generate any damage. So to work out how they attack across this distance is actually there's no damage for this, it's just conditions. The enemies cast that spell, they'll put this has a cooldown value of 5, so this is going to be unusable for 5 rounds unless they can find ways to move this value down quicker. I'll get paralysis for 2 rounds, so in my player board I'll place the condition there. Same for the ally, and as there are 3 icons, then it's going to target everyone and my rhino pet. That's not a good start. It means I can't do any damage, and at round 2 I'm getting another trash mob come into battle, so I'm already on the back foot. Let's turn that over to show that they've activated, and now it's over to the Dragon Knight. Now they have 1 attack and 1 support spell. They can't really do either because you can't increase your HP above your starting value. But what heroes and allies do on their turn is they draw 3 of these movement cards for the hero deck, and they get to pick 1. So this one lets me move 3 as I cast a spell. This one lets me move 2 after I cast a spell. And this one is move 3 after casting a spell. So I think I'm probably going to, get the Dragon Knight to move 3. I'll explain my reasoning in a minute. Now if I can get the Dragon Knight to this red square for round 2, they'll gain the, I think that's the advantage token, which means my attacks do 50% more damage, which is going to be hugely beneficial in this situation. So, yeah, well they can't cast either, so they can just move as they cast nothing. 1, 2, 3. Well, the first thing I should have done actually is move this token across 1, so they'll only have 1 more round of being paralysed. I think that's the end of their turn. They can't really do anything else. So I'll just get rid of these. Right, over to the Beastmaster. Again, my support spells, they buff me for a bit. I can mount my rhino, which I might do. So the first thing is move my temporary buff of being paralysed. The next thing I do in my upkeep phase is I place 1 of my rhino cards here to hopefully come active later in the game. But the cooldown value here is random. 2. So that means in 2 turns that will become an active rhino. So what to do? Well, I need to draw 3 cards first. And I have got, I can pull and push different opponents, or pull them, cast a spell and then push them. That's my own card. So when you create the hero movement deck at the start of the game, depending on which characters are in the game, which heroes, you'll add their cards to the deck. And if you draw the card and use it, you'll get some buff that you can use because you've used your own card. This one's pretty good as well, is I can place bleed around the targets, but as I can't cast an attack spell, I suppose I can actually. Let's have a think. So I think I'm going to go with one of these 2. I'm not really sure which one. This one will add bleed, which means it will damage the enemies over time. This one, I think it has a misprint because it says when I resolve the spell, I can cast this condition on an enemy. And it says here, lacerate exposed on up to 2 enemy hexes, or adjacent hexes to enemies. Lacerate exposed isn't a condition, they're 2 separate ones, and lacerate is not in red, so I'm assuming that shouldn't be there. That image is not lacerate, that's exposed. So I'm assuming this one is to cast an exposed condition. So I'll use this one here. So the Beastmaster doesn't get to move, but I do get to cast a spell. And I am going to cast Mount Rhino. So I place cooldown dice of 5. I remove this to show that I'm mounting my Rhino. I am going to remove their agility token up to 9. That is the benefit of this, they'll go first next round. So that's my spell cast. I'm now mounted on the beast, and I'll get to carry out these. in the next round of combat. But I have to finish this. So because I've pulled the Beastmaster spell, I can actually increase a stat value. So what I can do here is either increase the number of tokens I place or the number of rounds that they sit in the conditions area of the enemy. So I'm going to do that. So I'll place 2 exposed tokens in hexes adjacent to enemies. Now what I think you can do here is my first target is going to be the bright jellyfish. I will place the first exposed token in an adjacent hex, which is going to be this one. So you'll be exposed for 3 rounds, and likewise the second one I place will be adjacent to the light spirit, and it will go onto this hex. So they're both exposed for 3 rounds, which means they take an extra 50% of damage, which is a better start than being paralysed. So I can remove that. The next character to activate is the light spirit. So this will move down 1. They can't heal, so they're going to go for their gust of light. Now this will damage all characters for 4 damage, and we need to add their intelligence, which is 7, so that is 11. Now because it's a ranged attack, they're more than 3 hexes away, so they have to, they get a +1 damage to that, so that's 12. And because it's the start of their round, they get to do that pull mechanic. So they'll go here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had you pulled me here? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the same, so I'm going to go there. And now they'll carry out Cursed Light. It has a cooldown value of 0, so they can keep casting this every single turn for damage of 12. So the Knight's defense is 5, so they're going to take 7 damage. Ouch. And likewise for you. Well, your defense is 5 as well, yes, that's 7. Not great. I should have drawn a card first. So they should have, placed that first, which means they cast a spell, doesn't change anything. They can move 3. Do they want to move? They don't have to move. I can't see the benefit of them moving because they've got a ranged attack, and as long as they keep 3 hexes away, doesn't seem to be any real benefit for them going anywhere. And then again they get to place a condition which is disarmed, and I can place this on 2 hexes for 2 turns adjacent to any of enemies. I'll place one there for 2, and the other one I'll place here because that's probably where I'd place it if I was an enemy. And that spell also here, it also does glowing for 3 turns. So that would be here. So glowing means if an enemy heals, you take damage. I think that's representative of them sort of like sapping your aura. And the same with the ally. Now I think the ally can only have 1 condition. No, actually I think that's just pets. Pets and trash mobs can only have 1 condition. So we're safe here. Well, unsafe, crying on the inside. So that is the end of combat round phase 1. Now we just tidy up. So we reveal these again because the order has changed. That goes to round 2. These reduce by 1. But some resources drop. Get advantage in a red hex. And another trash mob. It's another light spirit. I don't have any more standees for them, so they're going to have to be placed face down like that. They've got a higher agility, this one. And more health. That'll be reduced by 3, wasn't it? due to the solo mode. Also then, this actually gets reduced by 1. So I think all stats were reduced by 1. So they increase their health, to 10. So at the start of the round, the start of battle, I drew a trash mob card, and for solo play, each enemy loses 3 health and all of their stats are decreased by 1, and I forgot to apply that when they cast their spell. Okay, Beastmaster Mounted turn. They have agility 9, so they get to go first. I forgot to put that these last for 2 rounds, and that is shown up here. So the first thing that happens is token upkeep and dice upkeep. Now I don't think I get to add a card here because it's on the Beastmaster ability, not the Beastmaster Mounted ability. I'm going to say no. Again, rules of Grimm. Now I can attack because my paralysed condition has disappeared. And I've drawn 3 cards. Another Beastmaster card that gives them Lacerate, movement, spell and wound. Wound reduces the amount that an enemy can heal, and just a basic move, spell, move. So I think I'm going to go with this one. So they're going to move 2. And I'll bring them 1, 2. A little bit dangerous to go here. There is method behind my madness. So they're going to get this advantage, and that was on 2. So that goes there. And that means they'll do 50% more damage after you've calculated the defense. Now for the spell they're going to cast, I think they're going to go for rapid fire because this can be cast twice. So cooldown value of 3. It'll attack 1 target. I think I'm going to go for the bright jellyfish first. So it does 2 damage plus strength, which is 6. 8. They are more than 3 hexes away. It's a ranged attack, so that's 9. And I'll put that there to remind me. Now their defense is 5. So that's going to reduce the damage I deal to 4. They are exposed, and that means that doubles. But also, they have advantage, and that means after damage calculated, I add 50% of the value onto that as well. Now I'm not sure what order. I think I can choose. So if I deal 50% more damage, which is going to be 2 more, so that's going to go to 6. So that's the damage that I'm dealing. But the target player is going to receive 50% more on top of that. So they're going to receive another 3. So by my calculations, they're going to take, where is it? 9 damage, which puts them onto 6. Now it does lacerate. Should I go with them? Because it's a rhino card, I can add an extra laceration onto that. Well, actually I could have moved more, which I would have done. 1, 2, 3. So I'll do that first, because I forgot that you can add anything onto the stat value here. So I went there, claimed the token, and I've moved back, which just saves me from going into these cliffs next turn. Okay, cooking on gas. Then this says I can do that twice. Don't need to go through it all because it's going to be the same value to take out the jellyfish, which means they are defeated. Okay, I think that's done. Flip their token and onto the agility 8, which is you. So they'll probably, they're probably going to take out this because they'll use their highest cooldown value spell, which is Aurora Veil, which is a party damage attack for 4 plus intelligence, which is 9. So they'll damage for 13, 14. So this is going to be a big hit. So the first thing they do is they're going to pull someone 1 space. Beastmaster, I think. Will they? Yeah. So lucky I did use that because they would have been in the cliff face now, I think. And for the laying down light spirit, they don't do anything, they attack, then they move 2. So I've got to remember the -1 stat. I'll put that there to remind me. So they are going to, it's 4 damage to my whole party, plus initiative, which is 9, -1 is 8. So that's 12. Plus being at range of more than 3 hexes, 13. So I'll just stick these here, because as I talk and do other things I forget. And that's going to damage everyone. So we'll go with the Beastmaster first. So 13 minus defense of 4, that is 9 damage. Yikes. And here, got defense of 5, so that's 8 damage. So you go down to 22. And it also says that the this character gains shield for 1 turn, which means they take less damage in their next turn. So you're done. So over to the knight, the dragon knight. They need to do something spectacular. Should they heal? Let's see what we draw. I think they might need to heal. I think you've got no hope, especially against that attack. So, they can move. Are they going to move? I don't see the need of them moving because they're at range. They've got these 3. So they don't get the benefit for that the Beastmaster does. But it's still a good spell. So they can move once, cast a spell, and place knockback. Knockback's pretty good because it means you either skip your go or you have to spend health to activate. Oh, that one there gives them stun. Oh, it just means they skip their dice upkeep, which is no good for... why is that beneficial for the trash mob? Oh, I suppose their spells won't cool down. I need a spell on that one. A die on that one. And that one's just move. So I might just go for that one. Okay. Right, so they're probably... So they're going to heal, or are they going to... if they do damage, it's going to be... It's a ranged attack. So it's 6, 7. That's a defense of 7. That's useless, but they are exposed. Yeah, and that's going to be no good, because the attack's not big enough. Yeah, they'll do a damage... Oh, that gets reduced by 1, and so does that actually. But they've got shield. Oh, in fact, that will go down by 1, that will go down by 1. So it's really difficult because they're going to have an attack strength of 6, 7. You're going to have a defense of 6. You've got shield, you're going to have defense of 7, which negates mine. Like 50% of nothing is nothing. So they might heal all characters for 4. Although they seem to be taking more damage than that, so that's 4. And there's no modifier to that either. And this is just delaying the inevitable. But they do get to place knockback, 1 knockback token adjacent to an enemy for 3 turns. So that's pretty good. So I might put it on this one. That just says damage, doesn't say damage from attacks. Oh, but they can only have 1. So if I give you that, they can only have 1 condition. So that is going to disappear. Okay. Over to the agility 3, which is the one standing. They're probably going to regenerate because they will use their highest CD value spell, which is a heal. That's regeneration, so they don't get that immediately. Whereas the one that I cast lets me gain the health immediately. So that has a cooldown value of 3. In fact, that goes down first. In which case that gets placed on, but they can only have... Oh, that's pets, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, that's wrong. So they should have that. Yeah, rules say they can only have one condition. So I'm guessing if they gain a positive, they'll remove a negative. Again, it's not very clear because I have a subset of the rules. Sorry, that's my card. I've got their card out of sight here. So they've moved 3, but I said I can't. Oh, they could probably move to that 1, 2, 3 first. If they move to that, that's probably better for them. So no, they're not going to move. Cast the spell, and they're done. So that is the end of the round. Let's turn everything over. So that disappears. So does that. That gets reduced to 1. That goes up to 3. And in turn 3 we get this stun token on the 3 hexes. Right, Beastmaster is first. But they are riding their mount. So this turns over. They also have a pet. Again, I don't think this ability will activate because they're not actually a Beastmaster at the minute. They're a mounted Beastmaster. But I assume these still go down. Token upkeep. What have I got under there? Oh, it's a healing one. I'll have to get rid of that because if enemies have any form of regeneration or healing, I'll lose health as they gain it. Now, I've not got very much health, so I need to do something. I've got a couple of options. I can, when allowed, cast a spell to dismount, in which case I won't lose any health, I don't think. No, but if they are defeated and I return to the Beastmaster that way, I lose about 8 health, I think. Yeah, which is quite a lot. So what can I do? First up is draw some movement cards. So I have, this is a spell. Oh, and more laceration, that's good. That one is move spell laceration, and that one is the knockback that we had earlier. Now I might go for this one just to get away from the edge of the cliffs. Even though I would get, oh, it's three tokens of rounds 3. And I can boost that as well. No, I'll stick with this one. Alright, so I can move to cast a spell and then put lacerate onto a trash mob enemy. Oh, I do have that. Which deals double damage, or 50% more, sorry. They should have dice on. They came in this round. 3. So if I land on them, I actually lose my dice upkeep phase, so I can't move my dice. So I need to move away from those. So I'm going to move twice. I'll move straight down. 1, 2. So here I've got 4 undefendable damage with the 50% extra damage. So that's going to put that to 6. That increases my strength. I can't cast that because it means by the time I get to use it, you'll be dead. But because you're active, I do actually get to add a token here. And I think when they have the same agility, you roll a die to see which one activates first in that row. So 1 to 3 will be the enemy, 4 to 6 is me. Oh well. So the spell I'm going to cast is Vicious Charge, which does 4 damage. It's melee. I'm more than 3 hexes away. Oh man. So I lose 3 damage. So that becomes 1 damage. That's rubbish. You know, yeah, I might actually cast this one here. Just to buff up Oh, it's everybody. +2 strength and intelligence for 3 turns. What we do here, you put these buff tokens in the temporary areas. And I suppose it would include you, even though I won't get to use it. It just looks cool. Oh, for 3 turns. Even better. Then I get to add lacerate to lacerate 2. So on 2 hexes for 3 turns. And it's going to be adjacent to an enemy. So that is adjacent to that and vice versa. The rules say they can only have 1 condition. So each of those will take 2 damage. And that's the Rhino done. Over to the agility 8 minion here. So they lose 2 health again. That goes down to 2 and they'll have to cast this spell. And that's the one that's lying flat, isn't it? So move 2. Again, I don't think they really need to. I can't see an advantage of them moving because of the +1 damage to ranged attacks. Yeah, so they'll do 2 damage plus agility, which is 8 minus 1 for this, that's 7, so that's 9 damage plus 1. And I'm quite good at maths, I think, so that's 10 damage. Your defense is 4, so you lose all your health. And what happens here is that comes back into play. These get removed back down to their proper positioning. Agility 4. I need to see where you go. 1 to 3. No, 1 to 3 the enemy remains. 4 to 6 I move. Yes. So you can jump ahead. But you lose 8 health for basically falling off. And that disappears, and so does this. I hope you're happy. Oh, you would have taken damage as well, because it's everybody, so let's do you. So it was 10 minus 4 is 6, so you're on 2. And your defense is 5, so you'll lose 5 health. And it says here, all allies gain 1 HP. Now, because I have 2 characters that are glowing, they lose another 2. Just for the enemies gaining theirs. That is frustrating. That doesn't need a cooldown dice. So you are done. Oh, it just says there now, because I was defeated here, this Rhino is actually defeated. It doesn't actually say, and the Beastmaster comes back, is he exhausted? I'm going to assume they are. So it is the knight's turn, so that goes to 3. This drops down to 1. These drop down. They do have +2. So if they cast... Well, I need to get a spell first. Oh, in fact, one character should have moved because of the cliff face. So you're the closest, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So what do we have for the Dragon Knight? Oh, I like bleed, because bleed stacks. And that's pull. And if you can get into range, you get +2 damage. That should have been moved, I think, from their previous turn. or what to do. Pull them closer and smash them up, or that one will disappear actually, so it remains as is. I think I'll go for the bleed. I'll play the long game. Oh, actually, that cancels that, doesn't it? Yeah. I'll play that one. So an enemy's going to be pulled two closer. So if you go here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There, 1, yeah. And then they're going to attack. So they 2 damage plus initiative, intelligence, which is 4. That's 6. Plus 2, that's 8. More than 3 hexes, that's 9. They don't have any other tokens to modify that. So that's 9 damage, and they will attack. It's got to be you. You've got defensive 7, which is the one. No, defensive 6. Keep forgetting it's -1. So that's 3 damage. Not a great deal, but it's 3 damage. Over to the standing one. So I can pull towards you. I'm going to go here. So they're going to cast a spell. They can't move. It's a ranged spell. 4 damage. Oh, actually they're going to take... Yeah. So it's 4 damage. Plus intelligence of 6, so that's 10, but it's -3 for being so close to me, the ranged attack, so that is a damage of 7. Oh look, when a standee enters, if they do not have bleed, they gain bleed for 3 turns. So what should have happened there? They should have gained bleed, which would have reduced to health, and then I'd have kept lacerate, and then I'd have gained bleed for this one. And I would have removed that and kept lacerate, I think. So that was for them being pulled from here into there on the Dragon Knight's turn. Anyway, so damage of 7. It is targets all enemies. So for the Beastmaster, they've got a defense of 6. So they take 1 damage. Defense of 5, they take 2. Defense of 2, they take, defense of 4. Ah, they take 3. Oh, that's a shame. Actually, that's ranged there. That's actually going to get a 1 modifier. So 4 plus 6 is 10, that's 11 here. 11 minus 5, they take 6, so another 5 more there. Oh no, another... and they took 2, so it's pretty back to 19. So they've actually taken 6. Sorry, yes, because it's minus here because he's in 1 square, and that's a plus modifier because they're further away with their ranged attack. And you're destroyed. Oh no, yeah, you're gone. That's a shame. And they can place exposed on 2 hexes adjacent to enemies. And how long does that last? 2 turns. So I'll put 1 here and 1 there. 2 turns each. And that, I think, is the end of the round. Some loot drops here. Oh, and there. So if I can get to those hexes, I'll be able to claim loot and find out what it is in the next, or at the end of the game. Ooh, he should have received +2 regen for 3 turns because his pet died. It says target ally. So I'll target you. I don't know if it was when this one got defeated, because technically it wasn't a pet then. It was a different version of my character. Again, something to be clarified in the rules. So new round. So this one goes first. You're going to take 2 damage. That's going to go to 1. I've got to take you out, or your big badass spell comes in next round. So it's a spell and move for the one lying down. So it's ranged, attack all enemies, 2 plus 7 is 9. It's ranged, it's 10. Attacks all enemies. So we'll go here first. 10 minus 6, that's 4. And they take 5 damage. Oh, and you should have been pulled. Oh, the closest person gets pulled. You're already there. So you're going to get pulled onto this from this effect. And you'll become exposed as well. Which means you'd have taken extra damage. That was for 1 turn. So you took 5. That would increase it by 50%, which is 2.5, which is 3. So that's another 3. You need to sort yourself out. Right, over to the Dragon Knight. Oh, you did that last time. That's a spell of 2, isn't it? So that should be on 1 actually. That's on 2. I can't actually do anything. They'll regenerate. These pop off. Generates for 2. 1, 2. That will move down. I'm going to take these herbs. These give 4 HP during combat. That was the loot I got from exploring, so they'll get another 4. Might just save them. And that's all they can do. Over to my Beastmaster. Need to make use of these. Now that's pretty good. I think I might do that. Single shot, plus strength, plus intelligence, 2 damage, and paralysed for 2 turns. So let's have a look what I get. Okay. So regeneration, movement. Oh, that might be helpful. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. I've got a sneaking suspicion I've probably missed this pull a couple of times by the enemies. So that goes down as part of my action first. Ah, useless. So I'm going to try and have a look at these. So that's 4 damage plus strength. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 for you, and 10 for you. Would that destroy you? Oh, but they're paralysed, which means they can't activate attack spells. That might help. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do marked for death. So 4 damage plus strength. So 4, that's 9, 10, 11, 12. Targets multiple allies. -3 here. So for you it's 13. And for you it's actually 9. There we go. 9. So your defense is 7. I know it's only 2. Oops, what were you on before? Was it 8? And for you it's 13 minus 6. Well, that's 7 damage. 1 left. Now I'm okay with that, so I'm going to place this here, but keep this token because the lacerate is going to end you. And I will change that for that. And I get to place 1 HP regen condition on 1 hex for 3 turns, adjacent to an ally. Well, you're going to get pulled, aren't you? So if I put you here. Okay. And this one, which is the agility 3, which is you, that goes down 1. So does that. But you can't cast any spells. So nothing happens, which is good because they would have paralysed me. Right, end of the round. Oh, and I forgot again. You should have been pulled onto here. That was 3 at the time. Pulled on there from your action. No, you wouldn't, because you pulled the closest enemy. Okay, round 5. You die. Not sad about that. You're done. That comes off. That moves down. I get 2 health. I'm going to attack with Dragonfire. I need to see what I draw first. Oh, lovely, bleed. Can I, if I do this one actually, is there any way for me to get some loot? So as I cast, oh, I'm going to have to take a lot of health. So I'll take a bleed there, which is going to lose me 1 health. If I move to here, that's now going to gain me lacerate. So I've got bleed for 3 turns. Now that turns into lacerate, which means another 2 health gone. Where were they? 1, 2. I might move to that one instead, just to have a gap there. So when I fire this, that's going to be 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 2 is 8. No modifier for range. Their defense is 8 or 7. So they use 1. I can move another 2 hexes, so I can claim this. I'll stick that there for now. Over to my Beastmaster. I'm not sure if I changed these last round, but I don't think it matters. That goes to a 4. I get another one. These are pretty cool, but I don't see them very often. They move down 1, and I'm going to do this one. Oh, I could get a loot. That is perfect timing. So if I take... Oh, it doesn't matter because I can increase... If I take that one, I can increase the value of the movement because that is one of my Rhino cards. So I can move. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to take a bleed, a lacerate, and then move. That's actually going to lose me 3 health. But I got the loot. Then I can cast this spell, which is 2 damage plus... Oh, did I give them immobilize? And I shouldn't have. Ah, I think I did. Yeah, I should have done that. -1 defense for 3 turns. Oh well. So it's 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No modifier to range, so that's 15 against your defense of 7. You are gone. End of the scenario. So what we do when that happens, I don't think I get anything for defeating minions, only for bosses, so I don't get to level up. But I do get to claim 2 loots, in which case I've got a chainmail and a flask of rum. So that can go onto my player board immediately, and that gives me 1 defense for the first 3 turns of combat, and that gives me a shield and some rum, so some courage basically. And now we reset the board, I get my health back, and we go back to the exploration. Okay, we go back to the exploration phase. So that combat, that's quite a crunchy part of the game. Like really meaty, lot to take on. It's not simple, and there are probably a few things that I've missed, I think, relating to this, especially with me moving and also the enemies taking bleed and lacerations for moving in. So quite a lot to keep track of. Anyway, we go to the exploration. So now it's not in the rules, but the designer of the game let me know that if you cross a tile that's already been explored, you and your party will receive a permanent -1 to your HP stat. You might think it's only 1, but as you could see from the previous combat, I think that's probably quite considerable. So I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to go to number... Oh, should I go to number 4? No, I'll go to 14. Go this way. And as you can see, all the images and the icons, they link up with this exploration. Looks pretty cool. So what have I got? An action card. So this is a mirror lake. A tranquil lake stretches before you. Its surface looks like a flawless mirror reflecting the radiant sky. Touching the waters feels both inviting and unnerving. How do I proceed? I can gaze deeply into the reflection, submerge my hand in the water, or cast a stone into the lake. Oh, that generate another combat, do you think, like with a sea monster? Yeah, I'm going to cast a stone. The ripples disrupt the lake's perfection, revealing the gleam of hidden treasure beneath. Oh great, I received 1 loot at random from the loot deck. That's alright. Okay, I've got a heavy power cube. So a heavy armoured hero levels up, and I discard this card after use. My hero is... How do you find out if they're heavy? Oh, here. Yes. Yes, they're heavy, so they get to level up. This is great. So what happens now is I can move my level up to 3. I can choose a stat to increase and go up my spell mastery track. So I'm going to increase my intelligence, I think. And what spell shall I unlock? I think I might keep going up the beast healer. And this says when one of my pets is defeated, a target ally gains a +2 buff to their stats of their choice for 3 turns. Okay. I can start using these as fodder now. Right, that was great. Very happy with that. Okay, moving on. I will explore here. And we have the mini boss roams 2 hexes. So again, I roll, yep, this dice. That is a 4. So I'm not sure what happens if they move this way. So I'll roll for the second time. 3, and again, they move down. Hopefully the designer can clarify if you re-roll or it's just a lost movement for the boss. Okay, I think I'm going to circle around here, claim some of these, and hopefully then meet up with you for a battle. So I'll go to, I've got 18 or 23. I'll go to 18. We have another action card we have to resolve. Okay. Supplies are running low and everyone's patience wears thin. Your party needs food to regain their energy, but do you ration the little you have or go and search for provisions? So I can ration the remaining food, ensuring everyone gets just enough, or venture off to the path to forage for fresh food, hoping to find enough to satisfy the party. So I think I'm going to forage. After some effort, I find some wild herbs and Shire mushroom. Oh, so I just get some mushrooms and herbs and add them to my loot pile. Had I have done the other option, I'd have actually gained another ally, which is the war drummer, and they'll sit as an ally during battle, and they can use their drums to buff some stats, but you have to give them all your loot for them to do that. I'm not sure if that includes anything in the backpack as well as any armour I've claimed, so I'm not going to risk it. So the herbs give me HP, and so do the mushrooms, but just a little more. Okay, over to 12. Oh, you can go. Exploration. And it's another battle. So you've seen the setup for the battle, so we're going to dive straight in. Right, we're set up for our second battle. Now, I should be fighting on map 12 because that's where the encounter took place, but there are quite a few of these maps that are not fully completed. I think only maps 1 to 11. Now, seeing as tile 4 is furthest away from me, I thought I would open the page and would combat on that particular hex. Now, this battle map brings in terrain boundaries which block line of sight, so you can't pass through them or cast spells through them. And guess what? That's just for my heroes. The trash mob minions, they're fine. So I'll need to move about and find line of sight to be able to do some damage. But in the meantime, I'm going to be bombarded with spells whilst I'm trying to get to a decent position. Now in round 1, the player that starts in this position will gain a shield token, and that was the Dragon Knight. And we've drawn 2 light spirits. If I can get to the altar here, characters can then ignore all line of sight. But until that's done, I'll have to find a way. So I think we're ready. Who's first? Dragon Knight has agility of 6, so they're going to go first. And really just need to move because I can't cast any spells. Ooh. So they've got push and pull. Here, so if I want to, if I pull, now I can't still see. But that might let me, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I should be able to attack. Oh, 1, 2, that's adjacent. So I should be able to attack either of those. So I'm going to go with this one. That's a 3 movement as I cast. 1, 2, 3. And I'll cast Dragonfire. 4, 5, 6. My range is 2 hexes. 1, 2, although I can see him, it's still 2 hexes. That's +1. So that's 7 to 1 target. Who's it going to be? Ah, well, they both have a defensive 8, so that becomes absolutely useless. Good job. But, oh, I forgot about that. It does fire damage. I don't think I used that at all on the previous map. Didn't actually see that, so not all lost. So the spell bounces off either one of those. Now it's finding out which one's which of these. What I'm going to do is, which one's got the highest agility? That's agility 3, that's agility 5. So you are you. So if I go like that and like that, oh, that, I'll know that this card belongs to that character. So they're going to suffer burn for 3 turns. Burn actually rotates twice, or cycles through twice, so it's 6. So that's an immediate damage. And they'll take 1 damage every turn for 6 turns. So the agility 5, that's here. They are going to cast Gust of Light. 3. They'll take a damage for that as well. And that says it's 1 damage plus agility and initiative. So that's 13, 14, 15 because of the range. Oh my goodness. So 15 minus 5 is 10. Divided by 2 for this shield is 5. You're going to take 5 damage. You are lucky for this one. And for you, that's going to be 14 because you're out of range. Minus 6 is 8. And there's nothing I can do about that. You take 8 damage. And you're going to be hit as well. Yeah, so you're gone. Immediately. But I can use my new abilities. During an end phase, if 1 or more pets were defeated this turn, target ally receives +2 regeneration. So I'm going to put that there to remind me that 1 was defeated. And during an end phase, if 1 or more pets were defeated this turn, target ally gains +2 buff of their choice for 3 turns. Okay. I think an end phase is at the end of the round. Right, sorry, what I forgot to do was draw this card first, which would have moved them 2. You would have gone 1 space forward, which meant that you would have had extra damage to each of your attacks. And I can place glowing in some hexes around my characters. And if you remember, glowing saps your health when the enemy regenerates. Oh, it's 3. I think the next best bet for that is probably here. There we go. Over to my Beastmaster. Now I think I just have to try and move and destroy a single target as quickly as I can. Okay. So I have a Beastmaster card. Well, that is handy. If I move to there, I can't move with that one. I'm not sure what line of sight is. Is it centre of hex to centre or corner of one hex to another? I think I can possibly still get you. So I might choose this one, although wound's pretty good. Okay, so I am going to utilise this one. Well, that 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I might actually take this one because you can heal. I don't want you to heal. Oh, but that's on adjacent hexes to enemies, so I don't really want to do that. I'll go there. No, you're right, I will, yeah. Okay, so that's move 2. Oh, I've got to go through this. So 1, 2. Take that for 3 turns. Oh, I get +1 defence actually for the first 3 turns. So if that's the case, oops, I would have gained that. I would have taken that health because of that. So you come in. Should have done this first. Right, now casting my spell. And I'm going to cast, I'll cast this one I think. So it's 2 damage plus strength and intelligence. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I get no bonus for ranged unless I'd move to this one. Yeah, if I move to that one instead, move that way. 12, I'm in within 2 range. So that's 13. 13 damage against you. Your defense is 8, so you take 5. And they're immobilized for 3 turns. And I think I'm probably going to do that over the fire. Stop them casting. And I get to add 2 wound tokens adjacent to hexes of enemies for 3 rounds. So I think I'll go here for you. And there. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, Rhino goes, but he's not present. to you. Oh, I've not seen that symbol. So they don't move, but they'll cast a spell. They'll cast heal, because it's their highest cost spell. 3 regeneration for 3 turns. But I'm going to keep immobilize on for that one. Or paralyze, sorry. They probably want to move as close as they can to get that damage, so they have to move. So they have to go this way. 1, 2, 3 to get as close as they can. They take wound, which will knock that off, which stops them healing. And they put a feared condition in 2 hexes adjacent to my characters for 2 turns. So there for this one, and there for my other character. Okay, now I've made a couple of mistakes. That should be 3 hit points down because of the solo card. As one in what was pretty tough. I should have also reduced each of their stats by 1, which would have helped me in the previous turn because I've got quite decimated there. However, when the light spirit cast Gust of Light, they should have then cast Aura Veil as part of the spell's ability. I didn't do that, so we're going to call it breaking even. If nobody says anything, that's cool. Didn't hear anything, that's cool. End of round. And what happens? We get +2 damage here. So that means when casting a spell with that icon in the top left corner, you'll get +2 damage. I don't think I have any of those. No. Oh look, it benefits the minions. Okay, over to the Dragon Knight. That reduces to 1. That moves down. All they can do is heal. So all allies gain 4 health. Oh, I keep forgetting to draw cards. So I've got movement, movement, movement. I would assume not, especially not enemies or opponents, but I'm assuming I can go through my own characters. Now, didn't one of them? Yes. No, you healed. Oh no, you haven't healed yet. Do I want to move? Yeah, just to give you some possibility to move as well. So if I move, take this one and move 3 after casting. 1, 2, 3. That goes on there for 2. I can only have 1 condition. See, the rules do say trash mobs. Oh, it's trash mobs and pets, wasn't it? Not allies. So that does stay there. You're done. Oh, and by the turning that over, we know whose turn it is. Over to you, agility 5. Remember to draw a card this time. So they're going to move 3. If you've got a choice, what they do is look at their highest stat, which is intelligence and defense, and they look at a character that matches. So my intelligence is 3, that's 4, so we have defense 6. So they're going to come down here. They look for the enemy with the most common stat. So they're going to cast Aurora Veil in close range, but it's ranged. So it says 4 damage plus intelligence. So that's 12. 13, that's 14. I have a defense of 7, so I'll lose 7 health. There we go. And it says they gain whatever that symbol is for 1 turn if that was the last spell they cast. Right, okay, which it technically was. So they gain this, which looks like Captain America's shield, which technically it could be, because it means they can't be targeted by any attack. And they get to place glowing. I think I'm going to run out of glowing tokens in a minute. 1 there for how many turns? 2. Yeah, I can't find any more, so we're all out of glowing tokens. Oh, that's a shame. Right, over to the Beastmaster. That comes in. 2. I'll tell you what we did do. We did kill oh yeah, we killed one of those in the last battle. If I defeat 6, I get a reward. So we have to remember that. They cast a spell last round. That goes to 3. That will go to 2. That pops down, that pops down. Can you see what I mean about lots and lots of things to keep track of? What can we do? My Beastmaster needs to take names and kick ass. Okay, I can lacerate or add some stuns, which means they don't activate their dice. I'm going to lacerate, I think. But which spell? Oh, I am adjacent. That is a job. You can't be targeted. And I can't see you either. Oh, I can't really do much. So I might do this one where I get plus X defense. Okay, and now they would move 2, but I think they'd probably stay close to get the best out of that combat ability. I know I keep forgetting the permanent reductions in statistics. I could get around that by placing a -1 here on every single slot. Would remind me, or I can just pay attention more. Either way. So, end of the round. Everyone's moved. You should have moved down 1, which means you can't heal. They didn't heal. That should have moved to there. Change this to round 3. Anything on a 1. These go on. We also get, right, in a blue hex, we also get to expose ourselves. Little carry-on joke for you there. For just 1 turn. Okay, let's try and make sure we keep everything up to date in this round. No takesy backs. So for the Dragon Knight, there first. That disappears. That goes down. Okay, that's a good start. Haven't forgotten anything. So I can draw 3 cards. Where am I? I'm over there. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Okay, it's got more lacerates on the board. Knockback's pretty good. Continually saps their health, or they can get rid of it and then their turn. But that's good because I can give them lacerate or that one. I think I'm going to go with that one. Is that a push or pull? It's a push. So they will cast Dragonfire, which will do 2 damage, 6 damage, 10 damage on this one. Their defense is 7. They lose 3. There we go. They get pushed and burned from that spell. So I will keep that on there. That's an automatic damage for being burned. Then they'll get pushed into lacerate. Which will actually take position of the burn and give them 2 damage, and they'll keep that. Over to the agility 5 light spirit, which is you. You're immobilized, so you can't cast. Okay, so they can move 2. I don't think they need to move because they're adjacent. Really, if they go anywhere else, it benefits me, I think. So they're going to stay there. They don't cast a spell because of this. And there it says, after you resolve a spell. Well, they haven't resolved a spell, so I'm assuming they don't place bleed. That's my take anyway. Beastmaster, that will disappear. That comes down. These both go to 1. I do have another one. I'll put you here. 2 again. Right, that's all my prerequisites, I think. What can I do? Okay, what to do? That'd be nice because I can replenish this. So I don't move. I'm going to carry out Marked for Death. So that's 4, 9, 10. 11, 12 on this character. They have a defense. Actually, I'll go for you. Yeah, I'll go for you first. So that's 11 because of the distance. -7. That's 4 damage. So you're on 5. And then for you, it's 12. That's 7. So that's 5 damage. So you are gone. And I can place a laceration. It would have been nice if you had survived, because I could have perhaps utilised your position to put lacerate here and then on here to destroy you. Never mind. So 1, 2, 3. I am running out of dice, so I'll have to remember that that one follows this one. Okay, you're done. Who's next? Just you. Lose 2 health. What are you on? You're on 5, weren't you? 3. That goes down to 1. Damage everyone. 4 damage. Plus initiative 6. It's 10. They get +1 for both. That's 11 on each character. -5 is 6. And my defense is 6, so that's 5. That's the end of the next round. Okay, over to the next round. We have Taunt, which heals you and makes you the target. So who goes first? Dragon Dude. Can't really do much. But we still draw the cards for you. I am going to... Oh, you can pull an ally. 2, but that would pull me into that. So I'm going to move 1 to here. Claim Taunt. Can't cast a spell. That's them done. Over to the Beastmaster. I might have to come through here. So that will disappear. 2, that goes to 1. But I do get these 2. They join the fray here. And what am I going to do? Okay, cards. I think I'll use Wild Strike. So I need to move because I get the bonus for being in melee range. So that's 6, 7, 8, plus 4 is 12. Their defense is 7. You are gone. End of the battle. Head over straight to the exploration. And again, apologies for some of the missed items. I don't think it changed the outcome much. Maybe let me know in the comments. But I think I forgot as much as my healing as I did with reducing their abilities anyway. So we'll call it a balanced act. Right, back over to the exploration. I think I'm going to try and take on this to show you how a mini boss works. So I'm going to make my way down to them by going through this tile. So I get to do that token first, where we roll the monster die. That is a 3. It says here that I stumble upon a mystic spring, and it's known for its... so I stumble upon a mystical spring known for its regeneration values, and I can claim some special water that I can add to my equipment slots. So this goes into my miscellaneous slot, has 1 use, but I can drink that for some health. Now I don't know if the Dragon Knight gets one as well, because it says each ally, and they have this little indentation at the top of their card. And I'm not sure, I can't find in the rules if they get any miscellaneous equipment or any loot actually. Do they get to buff up? I don't know. But regardless, I will travel here, take my exploration token or card, and we have an action. The relentless desert sun reflects off the sands, creating a dazzling, almost blinding light. The heat waves make it hard to tell what's real and what's an illusion, and you notice a faint glimmer beneath the sand. Is it real? So I can dig through the scorching sand to uncover the glimmer, or shield your eyes and press on, ignoring the mirage. Well, I'm not going to ignore it. I think I'm going to see what's there. After digging in the sand, you find a small artifact. So I can search the loot item, the loot deck, for the epic artifact. It was actually on top. So this, it does nothing except sell for a large amount of gold. So if I meet the wandering merchant, I can sell this and trade it in for what they have. So this will go into my backpack. And just to show you, they have, they've got a power cube. That has no cost. Is that free? Black Frost tunic that has frost. Some cool hat. A staff and a gladiator mace. Well, I've got the gladiator item, so I could buy that. But that is the same price as the item I just got. So I'd have to sell something else to get that. But I can only buy stuff from the market if I roll on the encounter dice, or perhaps with an action card. I don't know, but I do have to roll twice for the mini boss. They'll roam. One is this way. It's one again. I'll go here. Right, so I think I'm just going to move into here. Now, this is where they started actually. I assume now, I think I just go straight into battle at this hex. I will take a look to see if there's any particular battle map for this. And the reason I say that is when you play the traditional scenario, you'll have set mini bosses that don't move around. And if you enter those hexes, for instance, if we go to hex 5, combat map 5, this is specific for a boss that you'll find there. So I'm guessing this key and the mechanics here will be quite unique for that enemy. So I'm going to take a look and we'll show you how you fight a boss. Okay, we're set up for the final battle of this playthrough. This necessarily wouldn't be the final battle of the scenario, the campaign you're playing, because this is the first mini boss that we've been facing. You might get 2 or 3 of those plus a main boss. So each of these scenarios is pretty big. Now this map, Hex 7, is specific to the prismatic line which we've set up. They come into battle with a mob, a trash mob already in play. We've selected the bright jellyfish. And the pack leader ability here is that all trash mobs have +2 to their stats in battle. Due to the modification card, this reduces them by 1 for this battle, so they get +1 for all of their stats. And that includes health. The Prismatic Lion has a health value of 60. Their stats are pretty, well, they're quite strong. And they have 4 spells. They have Carnivorous Bite, which deals bleed or lacerate. Primal Leap deals a lot of damage, and all of the allies that in their, well, all of the enemies gain +1 defense for 3 turns. Celestial Swipe. There's 2 damage plus damage from this spell hits enemies in turn order. I'm not sure why that's important. And deals an additional 2 damage for each hit after the first. Okay, I should have read the rest first. And this one here, I don't really quite understand. There's nothing in the rulebook I have. It's called Predator's Feast, where the Prismatic Lion will actually devour its ally and gain 4 HP. Plus you get a buff to all of their stats based on the ally's stats. So that becomes pretty powerful. Now, the only ally here is the bright jellyfish, so I'm assuming it has to be adjacent. I don't think it will do it from there. That's what I'm going to assume anyway. Now, for the Trash Mob modification card, I've assumed that what's written on here for solo play affects the Trash Mob themselves, not me. So during the 2 previous battles that I've had with the Trash Mobs, I rolled this dice and added either an aggressive or defensive card to the passive card deck. Now these buff up bosses' abilities. There's nothing in the rules on how I use these, and I'm not sure if they affect mini bosses or just bosses. And because I'm not sure how these are going to affect this battle, I won't use them for the mini bosses, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe 1 card is drawn during the maintenance upkeep when we look at moving tokens and cooldown dice. But as I said, I'm not sure if that includes the mini bosses or just the badass main bosses. So for this map, it's quite unique. We are at a stone spire, so we've got a number of different hexes we need to be aware of. This here is a stone pillar, and movement onto this hex requires that the player increase the cooldown die of 2 of their spells by 4, so quite difficult to get up here. But whilst in here, they are on the highest ground, which means any trash mobs in there can't be targeted. What I have to do is try and climb up here, in which case they lose that ability. We also have 3 high ground hexes where Obi-Wan Kenobi sits. I'm just joking. But any trash mobs in these hexes receive 5 less damage from all sources. Again, they can't be moved, but if I get up here, I can displace them or they lose that ability. And lastly, we have these yellow lines, which indicate there's an uphill between 2 hexes. And when moving between them, you have to increase your cooldown dice on some of your spells. And we start the game with a sandstorm, and that will move around during the maintenance phase of each player's turn. And if it comes into contact with any player, they'll lose 3 damage and they'll get moved about. So the order of play at the minute is the Bright Jellyfish, the Prismatic Lion, my Dragon Knight, then the Beastmaster, and then any Rhinos. I don't have much hope that I'm going to last too long in this, but at least you get to see a battle with a mini-boss. Right, I think that is it. I've got all my... Oh, I need to move that. That was from the last round, or at least the last battle. I've gained my buff from my chainmail. I've got a couple of herbs, mushrooms, and some water. I think I'm going to need it. And now we can start with the jellyfish. Okay, we don't move that in the first round because the first maintenance phase is at the beginning of round 2. So the Bright Jellyfish, that's the spell I've drawn. They can't move anyway due to where they are. So they're going to carry out their highest cooldown value spell, which is Volt Discharge. Oh, I forgot to say as well, the Prismatic Lion is immune to wound and knockback. So they're going to cast this. That has a cooldown value of 5. And... oh, it just... oh, great. Paralyzes everyone for 2 turns. So you're paralysed. Where's your card? Here, so I'll just put that there. And there we go. So nothing really happens with that. They can move after casting the spell, but this won't allow them. And they'll place 3 wound tokens in hexes adjacent to any of their enemies for 2 turns. Okay, I think it probably makes sense to go here and here to block you in. That's what I would do if I was controlling the enemies. And another one, I'll put it here, which would then force the Beastmaster to get closer to this. Okay. And I think you'll get paralysed as well. Right, Prismatic Lion. So again, no upkeep at the start, I don't think. Right. For them, they're going to cast their highest cooldown value spell. It would be Predator's Feast, but again, I'm assuming you have to be adjacent. So I guess it's Celestial Swipe. That's 4. So it does 2 damage, plus damage from the spell hits enemies in turn order. So it's 2 plus strength, that's 10. They are... Ooh. I've got no ranged modifiers as I had in the others. I don't know if that's to be developed or that's purposely done for this combat map. So that is 10. And it goes in turn order. So first the Dragon Knight will take 10. They have a defense of 5. And then because it's attacking the Beastmaster next, they add 2 to that, so that becomes 12. So I've got a defense of 7. So again, that's 5 for them. And then 14 for you. You have a defense of 4, so you take 10. You are gone. Never mind. And then they can move 2 after they cast the spell. I'm sure they would probably avoid going through the uphill zones, so 1, 2. And because they're not a trash mob, they are allowed to move through these high ground hexes. Right, the Dragon Knight. That moves down 1. So push and pull, expose or bleed. I think I'm going to choose this one because I need to keep you away from you, or you're going to eat them and gain all their stats. And I can't move. I don't really want to anyway. So the only spell I can cast is a support spell at the minute, which is 4 HP to all allies. I wouldn't have used the pull, but I am going to use the push. Beastmaster. Right, that drops. That drops. They do draw a rhino. Perfect. Oh, what have they got? Okay. Move 3 hexes, cast. Move 2, cast and lacerate. 1, cast 1. I think I'll use the Beastmaster's card. So move 2. I'm going to cast, has to be a support. I think it's got to be Greater Good, which is plus 3 strength for 3 turns. If I had a rhino pet that was turned over, I could sacrifice them to get regen 3 for 3 turns as well. But I don't. So that might come in handy later. And 2 lacerate conditions for 3 turns. Again, I don't think the Lion would want to go through these because that really does increases 2 of your die by up to 1, and I think that really limits what they can do. So if I put those 2 there, everyone's acted. That's the end of the round. So we're going to turn, or round 2. This dice is so cool. I love it. And then these all reduce by 1. Exposed in these 3 hexes here, which I think would just prevent you coming to get the bright jellyfish. Actually, it's 4 hexes. And then this will move, and we use the monster die to dictate direction. That is a 2, which, following on from this, be that way. Okay, over to the bright jellyfish. They'll cast Tentacle Sting. So they get a push after. So that attacks one person. And if I remember correctly, you look at the highest stat they have, which would be agility. And my characters with the highest agility is the Dragonite, so they would go for the Dragonite. I also think because there's a push there, well, they'd either go into wound or here, I guess. So it'll be the Dragonite. So that is Strength 5 plus Intelligence, which is 8, that's 13. Plus this as well. 14. Man, these guys are badass. They're going to take 9 damage. And then they get... Oh, they've got the spell, so... Plus glowing for 3 turns. Not looking good for the Dragonite. And push 2. So 1, 2, and they've got wound as well, which stops them healing. So I might have to wait for that to drop off before I can heal them. And that has a cooldown of 0. I don't think I'll bother turning over the icons on the turn order. We know how it's going to go. So, Prismatic Lion. That drops to 3 if I can find it. So what are they going to do? Probably be Primal Leap. A basic card. 7 damage plus agility, so that's 14. All allies gain +1 defense for 3 turns. So who are they going to target here? So strength is their highest, so I'm assuming Beastmaster this time. So again, that's 14. It's ranged attack, but again, that doesn't seem to matter here. So that's 7. I can see this ending pretty quickly. So that's a cooldown value of 3. All allies gain +1 defense for 3 turns. Which one is defense? Strength. Here. Some of the main bosses, they'll have special abilities that come into play once they reach a certain health value. Right, the dragon. So these move, that goes down. I think they're going to use one of these. Yeah, 6 hit. Yeah, 6 health points using the Shire mushroom. So they're back up to 32. Now there's no point casting conditions on them because they get placed adjacent. There's no one adjacent, so maybe I do want you to go here. Yeah, you get eaten anyway. I might use that one. Move 2, then 3. Sorry, move 2, then 2. I've got wound this one, but I'd only use it on you. And you're immune to wound. Yeah. I need to drop that down as well. Oops. Your defense is so high, I don't think it's going to do any damage anyway. Intelligence is 2. No, 4. Plus damage 2 is 6. Your defense is too high, so it doesn't do anything. You do get burned. 1 health. I'll take that. That's a moral victory for me. And then, oh, I should have moved 2 first. 1, 2, and then I move 2 again. 1, 2. Right, Beastmaster. You're going to come into play for a very short period of time. Yeah, I could mount, but I've got this. I need to use that while I've got it. So that disappears, so I can now attack. Dive in with a heavy shot here. Okay. Knockback is useless on you. That, I might use that, and that gets me to move more as well. Or I can increase the stats on that. I can actually place 3 of them for 3 turns and surround you. Paralysing shot, which is going to do 2 damage plus strength and initiative. So that's 2, that's 5, so that's 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 damage in total, 7 defense, that's 8. Plus they're paralysed for 2 turns. Okay, that's pretty good. What else can they do? They might take some health while they got it. 4. And then they can move 2. So I'm going to move them away from this. And they get to place this, I think that's stun. Yeah, which means that if you're stunned, you can't have your dice cool down at the beginning of your turn. So I can even have 2 for 3 turns, or I can increase the values on those. So I'm going to still place 2, but have them at 4. Okay, over to the rhino. So you should be on the board now. 2 undefendable damage. It's a mere flesh wound. Or plus 2 strength for 2 turns. That should have gone down, that should have gone down. So that would go up to 5. Yeah, I might use that. So that's a cooldown of 4. I think they're done. Yeah, you don't draw cards for those. I don't think anyway. Yeah, so round 3. So I'm just going to move all these now. Right, into round 3. I've added 2 loot tokens here. They're not going to do me any good because you wouldn't collect those until the end of the combat. They don't have any dice on them. They're there until collected. I didn't see this this hex here having the sandstorm in, so I've just placed that, and I rolled a die and it's moved in the southeast direction. So that was the move for the previous phase, so that wouldn't have affected the previous round anyway, but we do need to move them now. So for this one over here, at 2, so that goes into there. It says you take 3 immediate damage. I'm assuming that's undefendable. And then for the one at the top of the board, what's that? 6, which is straight up. Right, you. That drops. Tentacle sting again, so that's 13, and you will take on again, I think it's you, so that's 14 plus 1, so you take 9 again. I think maybe I should be taking you out. Lion, he's paralysed, he loses 1 because of burn. Can't cast any spells. I'm assuming they still draw a card. And I think they'll probably take wounds or a stun over gaining these. I think that should be a 3. Didn't that drop down? Yeah. So I'm going to move them here for 1 turn. But because they haven't cast a spell, they don't do that. Over to you. What condition have you got? Okay, so you've got +2, that's +2 strength, I believe. So I might try and take you out actually. Oh, I can't. I have nothing to do. I might as well do this then. So they gain 2 hit points or health points and 1 hit point shield. So what that does is you just stick that on there, and any damage that gets reduced first. Not amazing. I'm guessing they still draw a card. They can move 2. Oh, he should have moved actually when he got injured. It's a free move. I'll go here, there, and you'll move 2. 1, 2. Okay. Beastmaster. Defense disappears. This goes down. I need to make use of this. So that's, at the minute I've got +6 in strength. So I'm going to cast this spell, I think. I'm definitely going to choose that one, because I can pull you. Now I've got undefendable damage. Do I have that somewhere? Was that you? No. Oh. Oh, it's there. I knew I had it. So that's +4, +2 and... oh, lacerate. And there's lacerate there with a pull. Did they take the lacerate? I can't remember. I can't remember if they took 2 health. I know I did it for burn. No, I don't think I did. So yeah. So no movement, but I get 4 damage plus strength. So that's 4, that's 9, 10, it's 15. And it's -1 defense for 3 turns, but I think you carry out the attack first and then everything after. So 15, 7 defense. And for you, 4 defense, that's 11. And then I can pull 2 enemies. Can't pull you. So I'm going to pull you onto there, which gets you lacerate again. I think that does stack. And one more time, it's got to be towards me, I think. So if I go here, they've gone onto the storm, so that's another 3 damage. And -1 defense for 3 turns. Okay, I think that's it. And then you with your 2 undefendable damage. I'll take out you. Yeah. That's got a cooldown of 0. I believe that's the end of the round. Right, when the lion moved on to there, they should have moved 1. So I can either move them here to increase these values to 4, or to here, which means they won't increase, they won't decrease their die for 2 rounds. Right, this needs to move. Perfect, 1. It's going to go to there, another 3 damage. I think that's done more damage than I have. And then I'm going to move them to, oh, I could do there, risk that, or move them back there. Increase the value of 2 of their die. In combination with that, that's great. Then for the top one, that's 1, that will go northeast, so I have to roll again. That's a 6, So that moves down as well. Over to you. So that's 5 plus intelligence is 8. That's 9 again. 14. Against you. We know that's 9. Nope. That's 8 because of that. The lion takes 4 damage for that. Can now cast. Takes 1 for burn, but doesn't decrease the value of its die. But he's still pretty peed off, and he's got carnivorous bite. So he's going to pull a character twice. Okay. 1, 2, 3 damage immediately. And I will jump off to there. And the spell here, it does 0 damage and bleed plus strength. So strength is 8. So that's 8 damage. So my defense is 6. I didn't put one of those out last turn. So that's 2 damage. And bleed. It doesn't say if the target already has bleed, instead they receive lacerate. So I'm assuming that goes here, which will take another damage. No, they always last 3. But they don't deal damage the turn they're removed, so the lion wouldn't have taken the lacerate condition. Right, so they're done. They don't move. The dragon dude, yay. Let's take that off, put that down to 1. I think they'll choose that one. Oh, what's that? That's pull, isn't it? Pull a hero. So the spell they're going to cast is 2 plus intelligence, which is 4, so that's 6. Their defense is 4, 5. So they just take the 1. And I can place a HP regen +1 on 1 hex for 3 turns. I will put that here. Beast. Oh, that should have gone down a couple of turns. I think I did that on round 1, 2, 3, 4, and now it goes down to 1, 3, 2, that should be lower as well. They leave. 1 damage. So if I use that, and that goes down by 1. That should actually be on a 3 from a previous round. I think that actually might be a little bit lower, but never mind. You 4. Okay, so I've got 4 plus agility is 8, or 2 plus strength is also 8, but that has lacerate. I've not seen that symbol yet. Oh, that means the target deals less damage. Yeah, we'll try that. See how that goes. Or that one actually. Pull and burn. So I'll pull the line towards me twice. Over there. Just going to increase the value of these die. Take 3 damage for that. Let's move them. I'll move them randomly this time. That's a 5. That's up this way. I was hoping they'd go here. So wild strike. Oh, I could go into rhino form, couldn't I? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go into rhino form. So you go there, you go all the way up the top. But now I don't think I can do anything. They're done for that turn. But I do cast burn 3 for 3 turns. And I will put them here. And there. Don't think there's anything else they can do. That rhino doesn't get to activate because he's now mounted. Next round, I believe. Round 5, the sandstorms move. I'll do this lower one here. It's a 6. So that moves south. And this one. So 1. Can't move in that direction. 2. Comes down here. Okay, you pop off, you move down to 1. Move 3, spell. So again, 5 plus 8 is 13, plus 1 is 14 against 1 target. Leaves them on 4. Get that for 3 turns. That just pops up. The lion. Just gonna see which order. Does that come off first, or do you do the dice first? Damn it. So that comes off. That comes off. Now their dice can move. But I guess it's still going to be that one. Two movement. 1, 2. That's what I would do. HP 1 for 2 turns. Strength is 8. That's going to be against the Beastmaster. I've got defense of 6, so it's only 2. Not the end of the world. Oh no, that wouldn't be you, would it? Be you. In fact, you should have gone first. You should go before him. So I'll activate you now because you're agility 9. I forgot that you're riding a rhino. And luckily these cards don't really do anything. Had it been a push-pull or something, I would have changed my mind. But I'll do that one. So the spell I'm going to cast is this one. It's 2 damage plus strength, that's 8. Their defense is 6. So that's 2 damage twice, so that's 4. And bleed twice. Another 2. It's going better than expected. I think that's them done. Oh, bleed. 3 bleeds for 3. Yep, then the line would have gone. Now it's the dragon. Can't really do anything. They use that last turn, so that will go down, that will come back up. So they can heal for 4. So that's 8. And you just go to 2. With the card, of course, they move 2. What are these? Oh, they want those. I can place knockback. I'm not going to bother because it doesn't affect the lion. If the lion was closer, I would have. I think that is the end of the round as well. And that would have come off as well. Bright jellyfish. Ah, they get this one back again. Oh, those first. This one. That's a 4. And that one, that's a 2. That needs to be rolled again. That one is a 1, rolled again. 5. Back up this way. For your spell, which was, I didn't even, yeah, you draw a card. So they paralysed me for 2 turns. And then they placed 2 exposed tokens for 2 turns. I'll put them either side of the knight. Okay. Beast, they can't really do anything because they can only do support spells. So 1, 2. Probably best to do that one. So that's 4. That's plus 2 strength and 2 intelligence for 3 turns. I think that was on a, yeah, that was on a 1, I think. Oh, that's a pull. Can't really use that. Well, I suppose what we've got there, exposed and exposed. I'll move you to here. I think that, yeah. Okay. Next is the prismatic lion. So that drops off. They gain 1 health. And when they gain 1 health, because you're glowing, they suffer 2 damage. But they get bleed 2. Again, it's going to be this one. Oh no, move 3. So 0 damage plus strength, which is 8. Defensive 5. Take 3 wounds, plus bleed. Oh, 1 person, sorry. But they do move 3. And they need to get there to get this. Bleed, bleed, and bleed. To go that way, 1, 2, yeah. So they have to go through. 1, 2, 3. Take another bleed. I think it stacks there. Dragon Knight. Still paralysed, still glowing. So you can't do anything, but you can move. No, they can't. Nothing happens. Wasted turn. Is that the end of the round again already? Okay. 7. Right, that moves. That's 5, I think. Up to here. And this one moves 1. Moves again, because it can't. And again. Another 5. Down here. No, yes. 4. 5 damage, plus 8, 13. 14. You are out. That's not good. Okay. Now my rhino. So that comes off. They take 1 damage. They have to do something with these. 2, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 damage. Defense of 5, so that's 3. We'll just take 4 undefendable damage, which is probably better. So, yeah, they'll move 1. So doing this one. Uh, 4 undefendable damage here, and 2 paralyze. I'll take this one. For how many turns? 2. Right, your ability is this one, I think. Devour an ally. Nom nom nom. I don't even know why I attacked this person actually. I should have attacked you, knowing that was going to happen. They gain 4 hit points. That brings them up to 23. And they gain all the base stats. So I am, except health. In fact, I should have done that first. 1 knockback for 3. They will probably place that here. Right, so it's just between the rhino and the lion. I did miss a few things on that round first. Those upkeeps, that disappears. And 2 wounds there. One thing I don't know is if I am the mounted beast, do any of these cool down? And these, and do I claim this? Again, I know I've mentioned it before, but I just couldn't find it anywhere in the rulebook if these abilities and cooldown and token upkeeps activate if I am another character. Again, I'm going to assume no. Right, that's the end of round 7 into round 8. Right, to the sandstorms. I'll do this one first. That's 3, that's directly south. That's 2, that is... Can they sit on the same space? Well, it says until a valid movement, and it talks about blocked areas on the edge of the board, so I'll assume no. Oh, that's got miles. That's a 5, so it's this way. So they will take another damage. So they're on health 8. They are going to take 9 damage with the defensive. They are going to take 4. Well, I could do that now. Give them the 4 damage whilst the bleed is going to go. Because even though I lose health if I get knocked off the rhino, it means I get knocked off. I don't have to waste a turn dismounting, and it might be my only option to try and defeat the lion. Right, I've had to shuffle the movement cards. We've ploughed through them. I'll probably take that one with lacerate. can move. I think I'm going to stay there again. What spell to cast? This one. Cooldown value of 3. 2 damage, 6. It's 8. The defense is 11. Does nothing. I guess for the lion that's like being caressed with natural yogurt. But they do get bleed twice. I'm not sure whether the 2 bleed from the attack stacks on top and they'll take 4 next turn, or it sits in position 3. Now the rules say they're always placed in position 3, but they are stackable. So again, I don't know whether to move them across, move them to here, so I'm going to keep it like this, and that way at least it's fair. But they do take 2 damage for the bleed. And they place 2, that's wounds, and it says I may place them. I'm not going to because the lion is immune to them. Right, so the lion's turn. That's 4 bleed. Slowly draining them. Move 2, well I guess they'll move 1. The spell they're going to carry out is here, which is 0 damage plus bleed. Strength, which is 8, 9. My defense is 5, so they'll take 4 damage. But they do get bleed. So they'll lose another 1. Next round they are gone. And they'll place, how many is that? 3 glowing. That's for 3 turns each. Also, what I don't know, I couldn't find it in the rules, is can you have multiple conditions on 1 hex? Well, that's it, straight into round 9. Right, Sandstorm. That moves over to here. I assume they can share hexes, and the other one is that. That is a 3, and that is south. Okay. Again, bleed. I might have to do that for undefendable damage and just take the hit next time. I don't think I'm going to place bleed because I might try and move and I don't want to be caught up. I'm not moving this round, but maybe later. Yeah, so 4 undefendable damage. That's their turn done. What was that? Oh, glowing, don't want that. Lion takes 2 bleed. Uh-oh, uh-oh. So let's have a look. They do their highest spell. That one, they have to have an ally. That has a cooldown of 4, so it's going to be this one, which is 2 damage plus strength. So 8, 9, 10, 11. Against their defense of 5, they take a massive hit. So they are gone. I assume that the rhino's dead as well. I take 8 damage for that. Ouch. But during an end phase, if one or more pets were defeated this turn, I get regeneration, so I'll get that later. During an end phase, if one or more pets were defeated this turn, target ally gains a +2 buff. So I need to, I'm going to stick that over here just to remind me. So I keep putting the cards off screen. So that goes there, but the card they played was here. 2 exposed for 2 turns. There and there. Into the next round. Okay, during the end phase of the previous round, because one of my pets died, I can activate these abilities, which gives me 2 HP for 3 turns and any 2 +2 buff for a stat of my choice for 3 turns. So 2 there, and I think I'm going to put it on strength, I think. Right, and now because I am the standard Beastmaster, my agility is below that of the lions. First thing, move the sandstorm. That is a 1. So you move away, and this one, that's a 1. You move away as well. Lion's turn. Take 2 damage. The next highest cooldown would be Primal Leap. So they're going to push an enemy 2 hexes away. Well, it's got to be this way, which is going to get me glowing. Just for 1 turn though. But I do land on the sandstorm. And I'll move to here, and then I get pushed away again. Right, the spell here, 7 plus agility, so that's 14. Oh my god, that is 23 damage. 7 from the spell, 7 agility, plus another 9 for the bright jellyfish's stats. I mean, this lasts for 3 rounds, so this will be the last round, I think. Oh my goodness. The 23 damage. My defense is 6. So that's 17. 17 damage. That is not good. Wow, and then they get to add burn. 3 hexes for 3 turns. I mean, it's got to be here. So I'm quite cut off at the minute. I don't know whether the any modifiers to combat would have made this scenario much different. Right, I think that's them done. Over to the Beastmaster. Right, they're going to take 2 damage for the bleed, but I gain 2. Lose that. Right, these drop. Now what you can do when you're losing and gaining health from your temporary buffs, you can choose the order that the tokens are moved down in. So if I was going to lose some health due to bleed, but gain some due to regeneration, I can choose to gain the regeneration first, then the loss of health to bleed, which may help if you were short of health like I am. That should be down, I think. Probably further than that, but... Ooh, I might get that one. So that is a pull, spell, and a push. Excellent. Well, I could go the long way and cast a spell, or just move the lion onto the sandstorm, in which case they lose 3 health. I don't need to cast the spell. So that's the end of the combat with the Prismatic Lion, which is one of the mini-bosses. During the main game, or at least the scenario I've been given, you would then go back to the exploration map, carry on exploring. There are 2 more mini-bosses and an end boss, which is this giant snake. Once you've defeated them, you'll then need to find the exit and leave the map area. So you can see we've had just 2 trash mob battles and 1 mini boss. So each of these campaigns looks to be pretty big. And although exploration would be done as a party, when you do this combat, you are doing this individually with all the characters, if you're playing multiplayer. Apologies for any mistakes. I hopefully caught them all or most of them. As I said, I've been given 2 half rule books because the rule book for the Light and Shadow is still in production. But I hope it gives you a good understanding of how the game plays. And I like the fact you get to see what the enemy may do or is likely to do based on the cooldown values of the dice. I really appreciate you watching. I know it's a really long video and I'm sure there'll be a few comments of where I have made the mistakes, and again, apologies for that. But if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to further support the channel, you can always head over to the NinjaGeek Games coffee page and make a small donation or even become a member to help fuel future creativity. If you are a member, you get early access to my videos, and very soon I will be doing live playthroughs, where I'll then look to do only member access to some of those live playthroughs. Again, thanks for watching. This is NinjaGeek Games. Cheers.